There is a problem that every man, woman, person, child, even your neighbor's great aunt, sister's cousin, aunt's girlfriend, dog, sister has dealt with. Not enough storage in Minecraft. Yup, that's right, and currently that's exactly my issue. But in order to get the full story, we must go back to the beginning on a rainy day where I was converting concrete powder to concrete. Whew. There we go, I'm finally done. Well, actually, there we go. I've collected the last of the materials I need. That's correct, the last of the materials I need. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a new episode inside of my forever world. Today, it is a little bit on the foggy side. As you can see, it's looking a little bit spooky around here. The atmosphere in this place is amazing. As you can see, I am using shaders still. Last episode, I finally was able to make the switch to shaders because I have a new PC, and you can see the city is looking a little bit spooky today. There's a lot of fog in the air, but you know that's gonna go away pretty soon. But just look how crazy this place looks. Like the church, oh, I love it. This is so atmospheric. But I'm getting sidetracked already. Today, I have some big plans. So big that I'm not even sure exactly what I'm doing today. My main problem for the past few episodes has been this storage room. This has been an awful arrangement that I have going on. There is a bunch of just garbage in these chests, and you might have noticed something just then when I was opening my inventory, or opening those chests. I have a bunch of shulker boxes in my inventory, and that is because I got a big thing we're going to be making right now. We're going to be making a warehouse. A warehouse for our storage system. Our storage system that is going to be fully automated. Fully automated. And you're probably like, Creech, you really expect us to believe you just got these materials without even showing us anything? Oh, my dear viewer, I have some stuff to show you because I went through a lot to get these materials. Not just a lot, but also multiple live streams. So if you ever want to catch one of those live streams, make sure to subscribe. They are hectic and don't really have a set schedule for them yet. So you just have to subscribe and see. And I immediately want to get to making this because we have roads to add. We have storage to sort. That's probably going to be my least favorite part, actually. Moving all the stuff from over there to here. That's going to suck. But it's something we need to do. We need the storage system more than anything, and it will be a pretty cool building to add into the industrial district. There we go. This is all the materials we are going to need for this build. We have wood, we have wooden stairs, we have fences, we have redstone in a bunch of chests, and then we have granite, we have deep slate, more deep slate, terracotta, sandstone, we have mud, we have cobblestone, bricks, glass, carpet, bunch of hoppers. Oh my goodness, don't even get me started on like how long the chests and the hoppers took. This I got so much wood for this project. It's awful. Next episode, tree farm. It is gonna be in the works. Anyways, and then we have a bunch of quartz, which, oh man, that took a long time too. A lot of this stuff was actually pretty painful to gather, you know. Not only did I gather difficult materials, but I gathered them back to back, and yeah, that was not fun. Anyways, let's get into a time lapse of building this warehouse, and finally adding a new building into the industrial district. Let's go! And here we have the storage room, storage building even, all completed. Let me show you the warehouse from the outside a little bit. It kind of, if you look at it side by side with the steel factory, it's kind of big actually. I didn't intend for the scaling of this thing to, like, you know, tower over the steel factory. But I think, you know, overall, I'm still really happy with it. You can see I have skylights. I have another section that's added on top that you can't really access. But, you know, that doesn't matter. The looks is what's important. And you can see I played around a lot with fences, fence gates, and walls. I gave it like this kind of archway kind of thing. And these ones also have the archway for the windows. And then another little archway at the bottom. I also used some signs for like the pillars. And I think it turned out pretty well. I also used a lot of copper trap doors, as you can see right there in the windows, to give it a little bit more depth, I guess you could say. And don't you worry, we got more to do around this area. I know it's not looking the best right now, but I'm going to be adding some roads in here in a second, but I'll get to that in a minute. Let me show you around the inside actually. So over here we have the actual storage room, and you might be able to tell that a lot of these things are actually already sorted. Let me show you over here. This is where you would actually put the materials into the auto sorter. That's another thing. This is auto sorted. It's an auto sorting system. Over here is the actual mechanical parts. It's a little bit messed up right now. I gotta put stuff back into here, and not every single hopper is filled with the items that it needs. So currently it's not operational. Like this part, the actual auto sorter part of it is not operational because in order for it to work properly, everything needs to be filled out with items, and it's not all filled out. So for now, I cannot use the auto sorter feature. But let me show you some of the things I have just sorted already. I'll just walk by and you can take a good look. I moved over the wool from the wool farm and a bunch of other items. I came into a big problem actually though while making this system, because I ran into the problem that I have a lot of individual blocks that cannot really be sorted because I have a lot of certain blocks, but not enough to automatically have them sorted, because each one of these, let me show you back here. If we go into the back part of this thing, as you can see, we open up these hoppers. For every auto sorter chest, you need to have 41 of the item, and for a lot of items, I do not have that. Like let me show you, for example, obsidian, somewhere around here, I only have 36. And I'm not going to be collecting enough obsidian where I think it's justified to have its own chests dedicated to it. So that's another thing I ran into. And that's kind of why the items that I chose are kind of specific, and why there's also a lot of empty ones still. So I got to figure out the last of the items that I want to add to the system. And when I do, I will add them in here. These ones over here are going to be the other types of wool. I plan to get those eventually. But for now, it's going to be empty. But like over here, I have no idea still. I have a bunch of room left for whatever else. And I can just show you around a little bit. Like, I do have these all filled up. They are working properly. Some of these do have like other items that I couldn't really auto sort. Like, I probably could have made their own chest, but it would have been like a very specific item. It's like I would have to do it for like every item. Like, I don't think I need a bunch of chests dedicated to all the different types of fencing or slabs or stairs. That'd be a lot of chests that I would need to add to the area. And I do have my branding in here. You see the C and the R for Creech Rampage, obviously. I had to put my name on it. You know, you make something nice, you gotta put your name on it. That's how that works. And then there's also a few layers, as you can see. I have rafters up here. I have an empty, just upper layer. Not sure what I could add into here. I've been trying to brainstorm a little bit. But, you know, if you have any ideas, let me know, because as you can see, this area is empty, and also the area next to the windows is pretty empty. I can show you down here too. I mainly wanted this layer just so you could look out the windows. I have no clue what to put here, but there's a lot of area that I could put more stuff. Maybe I could put like another system of storage on the top. We'll have to see. But yeah, this is the warehouse building, and most of my items are already sorted, so, you know, you don't got to deal with me doing that. I streamed a lot of this too, so, you know, if you ever want to see me do boring stuff like that, you can always watch my streams. Anyways, though, now that I'm done showing you that, I can show you the next thing that we're going to be doing. I am going to have to clear out a lot of this stuff, and go ahead and make a pathway, because I want to be able to connect up this area, like, you know, the industrial part over here to the road over there. And that's gonna be a little bit of a project, because I'm gonna have to get a bunch more of the path blocks, meaning I gotta get a bunch more grass. I need to get more mushrooms, I'm thinking, too. And let me just show you from above. It's not the biggest task, but it's definitely not small. And the pathway is going to extend a little bit out to here. I remember a few episodes back, or maybe last episode, I talked about how I want to add a sign to the entrance of Heartwood. Over here is downtown Heartwood, the industrial district, and I still want to do that same thing. But instead of having the sign go right there, I'm thinking of bringing the pathway down this way a little bit more, and then having the sign go right here. That way, it also leaves a little bit more room for more buildings over here in the industrial district. Because right here is where I'm making the actual factories, warehouses, that kind of thing. Most of the farms. Over here too, I'm thinking more of buildings over here will have smaller farms, like the wool farm, and this one probably will be the other half of the wool farm, the other 8 colors that I need. Maybe, we'll see. But I also know I need a melon and pumpkin farm pretty soon. So, you know, that unfortunately means over there, the traditional Wild West stuff is probably going to be neglected for a little bit longer. I have so many things to do, like automation. There's a lot to do for industrialization, and I'm getting kind of swept into it. But don't worry too much. I won't be neglecting the Wild West city back there too much longer. Next episode, I have something planned. Something good that's going to be over there. And unfortunately, it's going to involve villagers, which that part's going to suck. But other than that, you know, it'll be great to get back over there. Got some cool buildings coming over there pretty soon. But anyways, let's go ahead and just get rid of this area and start getting this pathway done. Yeah, probably a good idea. And here we have the newly built roads inside of the industrial district. And just look at this. I gotta show you more that way, but this thing is looking so good. And eventually, right behind me, there's gonna be a welcome to Heartwood sign, or maybe just it'll say Heartwood, but there's gonna be a big sign right there saying, you know, showing that this is the entrance to the city. And just look at this place. It's coming together so well. The trees over there, no trees over here yet. I need to add those. I will add those a little bit later on, but I have a few plans. So, but yeah, I need to add the trees, vegetation. But let me show you these roads. Getting the curvature on these, well, you know, curves, was not an easy thing at all. But I'm glad that I was able to get them finished. It's really, really nice, and I'm very proud of it. And something I'm realizing now, too, is I forgot to actually add segmented parts where you could switch over to the other side. So I'll have to go through the road and figure out a few places to do that. That's our second goal of today's episode completed. We already have the main building today completed, you know, the storage room. We got it out of the way immediately, and now we have the roads done as well. And now we can turn our attention towards the steel factory. Now, the steel factory is something I built a few episodes back, but it never was fully completed. There's still some missing areas that I need to add in here, some empty interiors, and as you can see up here, a super smelter that needs to be relocated. This smelter is not very good. It kind of distributes the items inconsistently. So in order to fix that, we're going to be moving this and improving it. Hey, and look at that, XP. Don't mind if I do. I actually have some tools that are pretty messed up. I could definitely use some of this. And so the idea for the super smelter has kind of changed a little bit. As you've seen, I have already removed the super smelter from up here. And originally, I was going to put it in here. You know, I cleared out the space, got rid of the chimneys inside, and was going to turn this area into, like, the super smelter. But, honestly, I feel like this place just, you know, it being in a factory, it would work really well. But I don't really like it. So instead, we are going to be putting this super smelter in the newest building in the city, the storage warehouse. And we're going to put it right up here because, you know, these empty areas, I think it would honestly just work perfectly. But, you know, we can't just put it right here without adding something else too. That'd be boring. So obviously, we need to spruce it up a little bit. Get it? Get it? I'm using spruce wood. You get the... Yeah, so I immediately got to work renovating this upstairs area, which is kind of weird now that I'm thinking about it, renovating a newly built area. Anyways, not the point. I started making a lot of progress up here, starting with upgrading the raptors, giving them more support. And then when I was done with that, I got straight to working on the actual thing that was gonna go up here. That, of course, being the super smelters. That's right, not super smelter, super smelters. There were multiple of these things that I had to put up here. Well, I didn't really have to, but you know, it was cool nonetheless. And of course, I was gonna add decorations around this thing too. You thought I was gonna leave it all plain? Definitely not. So after setting up the super smelters, the decorations, carpet, all of that stuff on the top floor, I moved to the middle area, where I decided to place a whole bunch of junk to make this place feel more lived in, making it just feel that much more real. But that was not it, because I also got carried away after getting done with the interior of this place. I decided to work on the roads a little bit, and yeah, carried away is an understatement. I did quite a bit of work on the roads. A little bit too much, especially for not even talking about me going to be working on the roads. Anyways, let's get back to the video. We're done with the voiceover. Let's go. And like I said, I definitely got a little carried away. But I'll show some more out here in a second. Let me show you more of the interior inside the warehouse, because look at this place. Look at it. There's banners hanging down. There's some plants upstairs. This place just, the banners especially, make it feel so much more, I don't even know how to describe it. It just like, it looks better. There's just more life to it, really. And I still don't really have an official way up there. I'm thinking of maybe putting a ladder right here, but even then it's like, you can't get up to the highest level without Elytra, but, oh, you see, oh yeah, look at that core strength. I only need one hand to hold me up. I'm doing, I got my feet on the walls. I'm so strong. Anyways, back to showing this off. Here we have the super smelter. It works pretty simply. Just put the items in there. I don't really have any coal right now, so this thing is not gonna work really, but you know, I need to get coal, and when I actually have coal, then I can use this thing. And I really love these sunbeams that come down through the windows. Different times of day, the sun would just be shining in here, and I think it looks so good. Something else I got to talk about too is I got normal furnaces over here and blast furnaces over there. Obviously this is for like blocks and all different kinds of things. Food maybe. I don't think I'll smelt up that much food, but if I do, that's the side I'll do it on. And this one is mostly just for the ores because, you know, I have some projects that I'm going to be getting a lot of ores, and you know, that might be a good thing to use for those projects. And let me show you down here too, because this area is also furnished. As you've seen, it is filled with a bunch of junk and some gold, some valuables as well, to just have some stuff around here, because you know, before it was so boring and empty, but now it actually feels like, you know, the whole building is being used for a purpose. And I'm still missing the few items over here. Not gonna get done this episode, unfortunately. I still need to figure out what to put in these last few item sorters, and then I got to get the rest of the wool that I need for over here. So, you know, besides that, this building is completed. Isn't that crazy? I completely finished a building today, all in one episode. Even the higher up floors. And before I start patting myself on the back too much, I should probably show you the roads, because over here there's a little expansion. I wasn't sure exactly how I was going to do this. I was thinking of extending this further along here, going out this way, extending into the river a little bit, and then turning it so that way another building could be next to here. But as you can see, I decided to go with a diagonal road at this section instead, which is going to leave a little empty space around here, which we could do like some vegetation, maybe some small trees, something like that. We'll put some detail over there, but then there will be a new building that will go along like this area. So there's going to be like a triangle of just vegetation or desert, whatever we decide, and then a building going along right here at some point in the future. I don't even have a design for a building that could go there currently. And obviously this pathway will be expanded along further in the future. Probably not too much farther, because you know, we are going into like the desert now, and I'm trying to keep this area mostly to the mesa. But anyways, let's head down this way, and I can show you off more of the pathway. And you can see I have also added a bunch of little plants throughout here, some vegetation to make this place feel alive. And I especially made sure to add firefly bushes. That way at nighttime this place looks fantastic, all the little fireflies roaming around. And that also made me realize that I don't have street lights, so this place is going to be kind of dangerous at night. So maybe I should start designing those. Anyways, let me show you along here too, because the pathway extends down here, and there's a little separator, that way you can switch over. And I'm just now kind of realizing I have sidewalks next to the pathways. The pathways are more for, like, you know, like the vehicle transport, like carriages and that kind of stuff. But you could just as easily just, you know, walk on the paths. Kind of didn't think about that until now. And just walking along this pathway makes it feel so nice and connected. I also kind of love the way, this is a little unintentional, but the way the trees kind of block off the area, like from the steel factory. I feel like, I don't know, I think it was like unintentionally perfect, because it makes it feel like separated from like the road, I guess. I don't know. It just makes it feel a little bit better, because it feels like it's not just, you know, empty space. And I really like that. But that does remind me, I have to do a little vegetation on this side as well, because, you know, from that side it looks good, but then you get over here, it's a little empty. Look at that. The roads in this area are looking fantastic. You know, a road down that way to connect the two would be pretty nice, but I'd have to like go over the railroad track, so probably not going to happen. And unfortunately, that is going to be the end of today's episode. I know this one took forever to release, and it feels like we didn't get too much done today. I apologize for that. I've been trying to learn to, you know, balance my streaming, my short form content, and my long form content here on YouTube. And you know, it's been a little bit of a learning curve, but I'm trying to do my best, and I'm hopefully going to get into a better system of being able to do my streams, my shorts, and these full-length YouTube videos. I'm also planning on streaming on Twitch pretty soon. I should have a link to that down below if you do want to check those out. But I just want to say thank you all for watching. I hope you have enjoyed today's video. And until next time, I've been Creature Rampage, and I will hopefully see you all soon. Peace!